In this module, I want to give you tips and tricks to prepare for the Cloud Plus exam. The first step that I always recommend for anyone pursuing a certification is to set the goal. And what I mean by this is to schedule the exam. That's right. Before you start preparing, schedule the exam. Now, you want to make sure you know you want to acquire the certification. But once you've determined that, the first step should not be to start learning and preparing. It should be to schedule the exam. Think about it. When you're in university and you're studying something and you're taking a class, you know when your final exam is when you start that class. You know that that's coming at the end of the semester or at the end of the class, and it's already established. The goal is set, and you're just confident you're going to learn the material and be ready for it. You should pursue certifications in the same way. This is my recommendation. So go to pearsonview.com, go to the CompTIA section, and go ahead and schedule the exam. Now you have a goal set, and you can then begin your preparation. Now, when should you set that goal? Well, let's talk about that. That's about step 2, prepare. So in other words, how far out do I set it? I recommend for most people that they plan for 6 to 8 hours per week for 6 to 8 weeks. So generally speaking, to get ready for Cloud Plus, you're going to need a couple of months to prepare. And that means taking 6 to 8 hours a week over that 6 to 8 week time period. And this time is going to be a mixture of watching videos in this course and going over the objectives, reading documentation, and actually using cloud service providers. So when do I set that scheduled exam? I would say about 2 months out. If you feel like you need the extra time, go ahead and schedule it for 3 months out. Once you have that goal set, you will have the motivation to take the actions week after week to prepare for that certification exam. Some may be able to do it faster, but generally speaking, I recommend this duration. You want to create free accounts at AWS, Azure, and GCP. All 3 of them offer free accounts. They offer you free services that you can go in and start using the cloud platforms to learn about cloud technologies. And to get a vendor-neutral understanding of what the cloud technologies offer, you really do want to work with all 3. We'll have labs that can help you with AWS, but I would encourage you to take those labs and say, let me see if I can figure out how to do this in Azure. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this in GCP. When you do that, you're going to get an even better understanding of cloud technologies. Make sure you watch all of the training videos in this course and take notes. Don't say, well, I already know this, because there might be an insight in there that you didn't know about. Use free tiers to create storage, compute, and database implementations in all 3 platforms, and make sure you work through the labs that we provide. In addition, I want to give you some extra preparation tips. Make sure you master the knowledge areas and use the objectives to analyze your knowledge, as I've spoken about in other modules. Take practice tests to test where you're at in all of these different knowledge areas, and use the big 3 systems. Don't just create those accounts, actually use them. In addition to this, I recommend that if you don't set up your own virtual machine for OpenStack, at least read the basic intro materials for OpenStack in their documentation. They can be found at docs.openstack.org. This is one of the major players in the open source area of cloud management. So OpenStack gives you a cloud management platform that can be deployed and can support dozens or hundreds of servers, and you can deploy compute, you can deploy various AI components and capabilities through different instances, you can deploy storage and so forth. So make sure that you get an understanding of what OpenStack has to offer as well. And again, this is just about exposing you to different concepts and ideas as you learn about cloud technologies. And make sure that you are rested, hydrated, and energized when you go to take that exam. So what this means is, I recommend that if you're going to a testing center to take the exam and you're not taking it online from home, then I recommend that you park at the farthest away parking spot as you can. I know this might sound odd, but trust me, when you take that brisk walk into the center, you're building up your motivation and your energy as you walk in. You're releasing those endorphins. You're getting yourself ready for the exam, and you're pushing out any stress that might be there as you get that extra movement on the way in. It's not a bad idea if you have a gym membership to go to the gym the morning before you go and take the exam. Also, I recommend that within the hour or so before you go into that testing center, before you take the exam online, you review your notes and objectives on exam day. Remember, the objectives help you focus in when you have a question. What are the likely answers to that question? Well, if there's something in the answers that you know is not in the objectives, then you can rule that out quickly, right? So having a fresh view of those objectives on exam day is very, very helpful. And I really encourage you to skim the objectives once a week, every week leading up to exam day. Just take maybe 3 to 5 minutes to peruse them once a week again, and then on exam day, read the objectives before you go in. It'll only take you about 10 to 12 minutes to do so. And also review your notes. That's really what that last 30 to 60 minutes should be before you go in to take the exam. If you follow these tips, you'll do much better on exam day.